Your life is not worth the sickness being offered to you by this reality. I can tell you that much. It's not worthy of what it is that you have to give. So stop giving yourself and stop giving this system, this unworthy system, this sick system, your energy and your power. That's my advice. I feel like sponge and it's draining my energy. Yeah, Miss Tam, what's draining your energy? Just the system or anything? Be a little specific. Yeah, it's draining your energy. And so if you're talking about the system, I know you're talking about something having to do with the system. You just need to disconnect from that. Pull your energy away from that. Pull your energy away from that. Because if your energy is not mainly being invested in you, then the investment you're making is not worth anything at all. The investment must be in you primarily. And if the investment is not in Miss Tama, it ain't worth shit. I'll be quite frank with you. If the investment is not in you, it's not worth shit. If the faith that you have is not in you, it is worthless. If the trust that you have is not in you, no good. All of those three things must be in you first. And then let everything else come second. Yeah. And so I recommend something is telling me to recommend a book to you or a way to you. It's the only recommendation, and that is fasting the mind. Fasting the mind, where you have a good kind of way to do it is to have days where you don't do social media. Because that's the thing, it's, Or you're very, very disciplined. But there's a book called Fasting the Mind. Pick that one up. All right, so yes, I've been trying to be up and meditate. Meditation is a phenomenal thing. So I'm working on it. But wow, yeah. So you were okay. So you're in that direction, which is probably why you're in this life, because you've had enough of it. Because it's been these distractions, and they're the old distractions, the one that's been there since we were children. They're all there, all of them, all of the things that grip you. And when they grip you, they take you away into something that you can't really do that much about. But then, you know why we tend to stay in them? Because there's a lot of company. There's a lot of company. You have a lot of company in a lot of these distractions. A lot of other people there that are willing to participate with you. Whole lot of talk. Whole lot of emotions being thrown around, but not a goddamn thing being done or not anything being accomplished. Because it cannot be accomplished within a system that must have what it is that it's getting from out of you and everyone else in order for it to survive. So it will keep creating. And like I said earlier, if you're a man, there's something for you there. You go fight for this, fight for that. Now you have men's rights, fighting for that, fighting. And then if you're a woman, they got one for you too. All created by a sick system to pit you against each other. If you white, they got one for you too. If you're black, they got one for you too. If you're a foreigner, you got one for you too. If you come from this culture, they got one for you. This tradition, no matter where you are, there's always a fight for you, a distraction for you. That's why I say, divorce yourself from all of it. From the day you're born, they give you a race, a religion, a culture, a tradition, and a name. And we spend all of our lives fighting for something that is false and that doesn't even tell us about ourselves. You didn't choose any of the things that I just mentioned. You didn't choose them. None of us do. Something else and someone else does. But once you get to a certain age and a certain realization, you don't have to participate or accept any single one of them. After a certain point, then it's choice. And when you choose yourself, you inadvertently don't choose any of that, because all of them were all created to help and assist you and propel you to higher levels of consciousness. And then they were infiltrated and the reverse happens. They were supposed to serve you, your culture. Culture is a good thing. It's the way your ancestors created things to make a better life and a better creation. Tradition is the same thing. So we don't reinvent the wheel. And so that in our day, we learn from what our ancestors created. And then anything that they created that doesn't no longer serve, we're supposed to get rid of. But that part doesn't happen. Why doesn't it happen? Because now we're serving it. And the system turns it against us. And instead of us standing on culture, tradition, your name, even religion was created for that reason, all of that, now we're bending the knee to the culture, the religion, the tradition, and all of that. Now the governments and all of that, giving all these things power. They're supposed to be there for us. Fancy my hands. Oh, thank you, Miss Tammy, and I appreciate you and great having you in the community. So you see, so they've been turned around on us. But now that you're aware, you can turn tables. All of it was a convincing you that you should, this culture, that's your culture. Take the gems from that stuff. Our culture, human culture, the different cultures have a lot of gems and a lot of stuff that our ancestors put there that we can benefit from. So you must be the one that goes, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that. Dirty tissue from my culture is garbage. Get rid of it. That's what we got to do. Because where we're going next is a new reality. And we cannot bring the old garbage with us. We can't bring the old belief systems without the old religions. They're not a match. You'll carry them for a while towards your enlightenment, transcendence, and ascension, and then you start becoming lighter, and that stuff starts to become heavier, and then you hang on, but then you realize, oops, I've done all this work, and this heavy shit I'm carrying is pulling me back down. And then you have a choice. You want to keep holding on to it? But then the more you go back down, you're like, oh no, I've already been through, I don't want to go through that. And that's how That's how consciousness helps to raise our frequency, because then we just let that heavy stuff go. Boop, boop. And then we start to rise again. And then if we hold on to something, might not be as heavy as that thing you released, but it's heavy. And you start to rise, and you get to a certain level, and you go, I want to get over here, but it's a choice between carrying this heavy bullshit right here or getting to the destination. So you let go again. And you start to fall, you drop, you let go again. And you fall, you drop, you let go again. And your spiritual ascension and growth happens like that, in dips and ups and downs. Very important, because if you don't have that down part, sometimes you get to a certain level in your awareness, in your consciousness, where at the beginning it's easy because you're carrying childhood trauma and you feel it, you know it, so you feel it, so you can get rid. When it gets really subtle, it's harder to feel it, but then you have that little downward in your vibration and your frequency. You go, what's going on? And then Spirit reveals, that stuff right there. Energies come in like this eclipse. Oh, you see that stuff right there? That's kind of, if you want to, and you're given a choice. You're never told. The divine works in just pointing it out and then giving you a choice. Never telling you what to do. And then you go, oh, is that it? Okay. I didn't even know that was there. Let it go in there. And that's how you raise your consciousness. It's not a book, you do this, X, Y, Z. It's not cookie cutter. Because we're not clones and we're not cookie cutter. You're a very, very advanced being. So much has gone into who you are, millions, even billions of years. The science, they don't even know. For one thing, they tell us, we've been here many thousands of years, and then they go into the DNA and find out we've a couple 100 million years here, or billion years. They're going back and forth. They have no idea how long we've been here. And they never will. Because they don't have a scale or a system to measure our consciousness. Out with the old, in with the new. That's right. Yeah, old habits die hard, but they got to go. And as you choose yourself, let's just call those habits a part of the old system, a part of the sick system, a part of the yesterday you. And then, as your consciousness becomes more and more and more and more higher, you realize, and then you go, oh my God, I'm so glad I was able to get rid of that. And then you can see what it's like in your environment to be carrying that. And I want to say something else to you guys. The more, the higher in frequency you get, the more you see of the things that the system has. You see less when you're done. And you get higher, you see more of it. It doesn't get any less as far as what you observe. You get to observe more of it. And then two things can happen. You can go, ooh, so happy I'm out of that. And then you become a light and an example for all those who want to get out of it. And that's how, and then your thoughts, your influence, the very energy that you carry starts to create space for them. Without you saying one thing. Starts to create space for them. Or you kind of get down at everything that you see. But you can't get down. You just have to know that those who are going to awake, they're going to awake, and you're going to be a light, and you're going to make sure you take care of this first, because this is the vehicle through which consciousness is going to flow through. Flow through. Right? Not create, because, these ones that call themselves a scientists, they want to tell you the consciousness is created by the brain. But if you do that, then you'll be completely removed from your greatness and the universe and your higher self and all of that. You see, because then they've brought it into the physical and and they've made it limited. These people don't know what they're talking about. Right? You know, they think consciousness is related to alertness. So if you're unconscious, or got knocked out unconscious, or you're in a coma, that's the lowest level of consciousness. You're in a coma, or you're awake, or you're asleep, you're in the beta state, or, you know, whatever it is, those differences, that's your level of alertness. It's got nothing to do with consciousness. Oh, was it? Oh, he's in a coma. It's unconscious. No, that's level of alertness. Level of alertness has to do with how well you interact with yourself and the environment around you. That's all. It's nothing to do with consciousness. So they got to get their shit straight when it comes to that. I must say, since our conversation, PapaG, I've noticed I'm fatigued in a way I've never been. Okay. So Marie, have you been sleeping? Because this is also, I've also in the last few days been feeling very fatigued, but I've been doing some work on myself and integrating. So that's part of the integration process. When we work on ourselves, and when we worked there, we did some work. The work started from the time we were talking. Marie is referring to a session with me. And so when you do this inner work, what happens often, it doesn't happen the same way every time, is the mind, the emotions, and the body are both being worked, or all three being worked on. And it's like you upset the apple cart, you get rid of stuff, and then you're bringing stuff in. The stuff you're bringing in is nothing other than your higher self, the light of your own spirit. Right? So when that happens, this energetic work, your light bodies are also affected. So very much a lot of sleep and rest and relaxation is required. I've been working on myself, feel way more tired day to day. Okay, so you need to, I'm glad you brought this up, Marie. When we're doing this inner work, and I talk about inner work, you must take time off for integration. You just can't keep working on yourself. I think I said this one of our lives a couple of weeks ago. You wouldn't run a marathon one day, then wake up the next day, decide you want to run another one, and then the next day you want to decide to climb a mountain, right? You wouldn't do that. You would run that marathon and oof, the legs are super sore. The body is sore. I'm tired. You know, what marathoners would do, normally do if they run these long marathons, a lot of time they have an ice sitting there to cool the body. They throw the body in the ice. And they do that, the first step. Then they eat. Then they sleep. And they just will sleep for as long as they need to. Then they recover slowly. Then after about 3 weeks, they start moving and going into practice again. Very slowly, even after 3 weeks. And then they get back into it. So it's the same thing. You would just like you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't run 2 marathons and climb Mount Fuji. You don't want to do that energetically. You want to give the body, the emotions, and the mind time to recover. And let me tell you, folks, the integration and recovery is just as important as the work itself. So Marie, please For the next 3 weeks, 3 weeks, I usually tell people 2, but I'm telling you 3. Just simply don't do any work on yourself. If you want to read a book, meditation, that kind of stuff, you could do that. Meditation, learning more about yourself, ancestors, that kind of stuff, you can definitely do that. But no work. No work. You just want to sleep, relax, nature, working with the tree, taking your foot off, putting it in the ground. Do that for 3 weeks. And please, I want to hear back from you after 3 weeks. Okay, Marie? Let me know. Even if it's in one of our lives, let me know what's going on. But give it 3 weeks. Because I've worked on people. I was working on this woman one time. And she had so much heaviness that was lifted out of her. And I knew it. And I said, for the next 3 days, I want to hear from you. With this particular person, she had a lot of stuff. Great human being, but she had a lot of stuff that she carried. Helped children, all of that, with carrying this heavy stuff. I said, next 3 days, every day, I want to hear from you. She heard from first say, PapaG, I feel like crap, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. Okay. Sit still. I want you to go outside. And she lived in LA, so I knew the temperature. I knew she could do it. I want you to take your feet off. I want you to take 20 minutes. Go by that tree. And she had a tree because we talked. And just sit there. 20 minutes. And then, I know you have life to live. But anybody comes in and they're stressful, you get rid of them. Because people will do it. Any kind of personalities that you normally deal with, you tell them to stay away. Because they'll come by and they'll mess things up for you. So you be alone with yourself for as long as you can these next 3 days. Second day, felt like crap. I said, no worries. I talked to her higher self. I said, just take time, relax. You had a lot of stuff done. I know it doesn't seem like it, but now you're... Third day, I feel a little better, PapaG. I said, okay, I want to hear from you the next 2 days now. Fourth day, PapaG, last night, Spirit just said to me, everything's okay now. And today, I feel like a golden woman. I feel lighter. I feel great. I feel like I can conquer the world. I said, okay. I knew you were going to go through that stage. That's why I wanted to have. I didn't feel that you would, Marie. But if you weren't sleeping, that's the number one thing. When you do work on yourself, energy work of any kind, sleep is your best friend. Sleep. And you sleep, even if in the day, if you get a chance, or if you're working, you got an hour and you can take a nap for 30 minutes, take that nap. You'll feel so much better. Okay? So don't keep working on yourself. Work on yourself, do some heavy stuff, give it 2 weeks. You can still do the meditating, you can still do the educating, learning about yourself and all of that. Get into nature, foot in the ground, you know, that kind of stuff. Thank you for bringing that up, Marie. Because your question just helped probably a lot of people here. Because one of the things, anybody I train, any healer I train, I always say, you must ensure that the people you work with take integration time. And now I stress it. Take time. I always say and I told Marie this too, that you're going to take time, take care of yourself. Shh. Just chill. Anybody want to put you into activity? And one of the things I always say, watch the people that come around. If you get that phone call, this happens so much. I'm going to tell you folks, this happens so much. If you get that phone call from that person you never heard from, and they were someone you used to run with, someone used to stress you out, an ex, don't take that call. Don't take it. If you take the call, you go, hello, I got so much going on. I'm busy for the next day. I'm not talking to anybody. See ya. And they go, oh, no, no, wait, I got to, no. Bang, you hang up the phone and you don't call them back and you don't let them call you back. And if you don't hear from them in 5 days, it's nothing important at all. It wasn't life and death. Don't call back after that. Why you want to bring that stuff back on you? No. Oh, and downloads are better and easy. Okay, I think I missed something you said earlier, Lily. Hey, Miss Copper D. Good to see you again. Nothing but authenticity. And downloads was flowing better and easy. Thank you for putting that out there again, Energy Flow. And she says, subscribe to our newsletter so that you can get updates. And you do that simply by going to the, the profile. You click the link, boom, our profile, newsletter's right there. It takes about 10-15 seconds. So do that. And those of you, if you have an interest in any kind of healing or sessions, or spiritual mentoring, you can contact us. In that link, there's the different sessions. If there isn't one there, just send us a link and we can figure out what's appropriate for you. And our spiritual mentoring it's a program lasts a few months, and you get years of progress in just a matter of that small amount of time. Okay, so distractions. Everybody has to deal with them, including me, including this one. Because they are rampant. And we want to make sure that they don't take us away from ourselves. Because what's going on right now with all these energies that are here that are bringing everything to the surface for us to deal with, and many of us are dealing with that, the other side knows this, and they're going to bring up everything in their power to take you off the target, take you off the mark. I mentioned quite a few earlier. The wars, the civil movements, all the fights going on for different rights for different people. And you might say, Papa G, we shouldn't fight for rights. No, you should do whatever you choose to want to do. But I'm telling you, don't let the system pull you into its traps. Because true change can only happen here, not in their political systems. Okay? Because it will soon be stripped back, so you can have to fight for it again. Because all you do is you fight for something, you get it, and your next thing you got to do is fight to keep it. Because you're not really getting any kind of justice. Justice does not have to be fought for. If it has to be fought for, it's not true justice. It's just a continual war. It's just a continual war. And this system has many beings within it that are war-like beings. They like war, they like pain and suffering. The Abrahamic religion, all of them are based on war, pain, suffering, genocide. That's how they spread across the planet. Because they serve a war god. A deity who only knows war. A deity that only knows war. So they go to war very easily. Over anything. And in those religions, they believe that, and in those, and even in the systems and governments, like in this country, in my country, the government believes the only way you can have peace is by first having war. That's the only way you're going to have peace. Whereas in other places, and I'm not saying all governments are perfect, they're not. In a place like, say, we might talk about the Chinese, like we talk about, but in China, they believe, and in India, and in many of those places, that's why you don't see many wars there. Are the Indians about to go to war with the Chinese? No, they're not. Indians about to go to Pakistan? Well, but they're not. Why? Because they believe the only way you can have peace is by striving for peace first off. You want to have peace? You must be peaceful. You must strive for peace. Not for war and then to think that there's going to be peace coming from that. That makes no sense. Yeah. You accidentally, what, for 1 second? Yeah, they can sometimes, like, when we go to some people's home, they got that news blaring. We go like, can we turn it down? I can't hear you talking about all of that. Let's just turn it off so we can have a good conversation. Yeah, it does. That's what the news does. Stop watching the news, because the news conspires to frighten you, to make you feel small and alone, as if the world is not of your own. That's a song in the 90s by Morrissey. Some of you might recognize the lyrics a little bit. So we're told this in so many ways, even so-called non-spiritual. That was like a rock and roll song from a very so-called non-spiritual person. And then you're also told about who you are, not only by the sages, by the so-called non-sages. There's a song by the Police. Some of you might be familiar with it. We are spirits in a material world. Remember that song in the 80s? We're always told. And of course you have Bob Marley and him and his lyrics and his songs. See, you'll never have a Bob Marley ever again. Does a Bob Marley exist? Of course they do. But because this system knows what it cannot do anything about and against and cannot control, they will not have a Bob Marley. Bob Marley's all over. They'll start coming back when we take control. Trust me. You'll never have songs like Spirits in a Material World under this system until we take control. Those songs are coming back. See, so I like to mention and talk about different people, because I want people to know it isn't just people like me wearing a turban that tell you about it. There's all kinds of people doing it all the time. They come in different, the divine shows up in different bodies and situations to reach many. Yeah, listen to Bob Marley instead of that news. I hope you saw the movie. If you guys saw the movie, it was a great movie. I love the way they did it. Great man. Yeah, they throw a bunch of stuff because they know this. That's all purpose. Yes, they throw a bunch of stuff in a few minutes. They do that because they know that people, they've only got a certain amount of time to say stuff. And they learned that from social media. Because I remember, and then we're going to go to our guided contemplation. Stick around for that. And Marie, if you're still here in the guided contemplation, just put your intention on having soothing, healing energy to help in your integration process. No, and those of you who have, you know, been working, doing heavy energy work on yourself, do the same. Not that that'll happen, because when you work with the divine energy, it only does what needs to be done, does not do more, and does not do harm. But you can ask and intend for that to be brought from within you, and you'll receive that. And we said, yeah, you should see the Bob Marley movie. It's a good movie, great movie. We loved it. Loved the way they did it. Very classy. Of course, because Ziggy approved. Didn't bring any of the nonsense in. Just brought the actual what the man actually did. He and his wife, Rita, and their relationship, and how his music transformed the world. You're welcome, Isabella. Okay, so let's get into our guided contemplation. And so in this contemplation, for those who are here the first time, there are only two rules: no harm to yourself or others, and all the intentions that we're going to put, because we're doing this guided contemplation to send our wonderful intentions out into the earth. And these intentions are only for the highest good of all, and for yourself. And for yourself. And we're going to clear this room so that only that which is in the highest good of all can be a part of it, and that only that which is supportive of everyone here can be a part of it. No parasitic energy, no negative energy of any kind. This is not the place for it. And we will brook none of it. We will brook none of it. All right. Those are the only things. And so what you want to do is have an intention, or intentions, how many you want, for yourself, and intentions for the planet. For the planet, for humanity, and for life. Here. And so you have these two different kinds of intentions, one for you and one for the greater good of all. And the way we work this is we work with our hearts, and we work with the seat of our emotions, right? With our heart and the seat of our emotions. And we also, I want to put out an intention of appreciation, gratitude for all mothers on this planet, and to include anything and all of the energies needed so that all mothers receive the support they need to help raise their children in the highest consciousness possible. The highest consciousness possible. And we do not exclude fathers, but this is Mother's Day. So that's why I'm only dealing with mothers at this point. Because fathers are extremely important. Do not let Hollywood fool you with their nonsense. Turning fathers into buffoons and clowns. That's all a strategy as well. But so that the mothers are supported, because a buffoon and a clown cannot support a mother and the children like a true man can and is supposed to. So we send this loving energy out to all of you mothers. All right. So next we're going to start the guided contemplation. And like I've always told everyone, you have everything you need. No one can give you a qualification to use your mind to transform yourself in the planet, because your mind is powerful enough to do that. And you already came here with it. And no one can give you anything that's more powerful than that. So you have it all, and And that is all that is required here. And we invite the divine within us, the universal mother and father, to also participate with us. And we do so with love and gratitude. And we begin with our wonderful planet. And so the first thing we want to do is connect to the planet. Our energetic belly brain, the seat of our emotions, is where we begin. And just imagine that there are roots coming from this intelligence down our legs and down our feet and down to the core of the earth. Now, if you have people below you, you're in a high rise or second, third floor, just with your intention only, send those roots to the side so that they connect, and then they can connect down to the planet, because you don't want to be connecting through people's energy fields. That might be uncomfortable. We send those roots down to the great representative of the Mother Gaia. She is facilitating this. And we want to send these with love, appreciation, and gratitude. We want that to be a part of this connection and this centering. And the next thing we want to do is connect our hearts to the heart of the planet. And you simply do that by imagining a line coming from your heart, then curving into the heart of the planet, and then curving back around to create this beautiful elliptical connection that we call the heart loop. And again, with gratitude and appreciation, we do this. And those of you who are healing, who are integrating, let the integration process include healing, soothing, warm energy, so that the mind has the time and the support to arrange itself to match the new you and integrate into that, and the emotions, and as well as the body. Integration process for mind, emotions, and body. Those are the three. And we include the light bodies as well. The bodies of you, or who you are, between the physical and spirit. Those are your light bodies. And they also transform and are part of the integration process. We now also send this warming, loving energy to your energy field and let it transmute anything that does not serve you, any thought forms, energies, or constructs. And may the soothing energy and soothing ions in your atmosphere also be brought in. And now we also do the same to every cell in the body, all your organ systems, a cell, the endocrine system, digestive system, the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, musculoskeletal system, nervous system, and all the other systems involved. Removing blockages from the subconscious and the conscious mind. And strengthening the connection between you and your spirit, you and your benevolent ancestors, and you and your inner child. The important three. And now with this connectedness with self from within, because as within, so without. As above, so below. As below, as above. Connecting in unity consciousness. Now, let us move on to placing our wonderful intentions into action. From inaction, from potential energy into kinetic energy. Action. Action is the power. Action is where power lies. The power of transformation through benevolence, love, kindness, gentleness. Working through and with the divine that is within us. And so any agreements, contracts, bonds, vows, or situations, circumstances, or things that would seek to impede, interfere, disrupt in any way these intentions, may they be brought to the light and transmuted and turned into something that will assist us and propel these intentions that we have for ourselves and the transformation of the planet. Let them be brought forward into the light and transmuted into something that will support and work for us, not against us. And we will not brook any aggression or any vengeance or any retributions for ending patterns and behaviors that do not serve us or life on this planet and even indeed the universe. Full stop. And we include all energies, frequencies, and systems that are related. Now, let this be done on every timeline and temporal location, every dimension, level, realm, density, reality, on every planet, multiverse, universe, omniverse, past, present, future, all time, no time, anti-time, subtime, all space, no space, anti-space, subspace, everywhere, nowhere, throughout all creation itself. All of our parallel lives and existences. Let that happen now. And we usher in and welcoming the restoration and reformation process within us and across the planet, so that we can be in a right and perfect relationship with ourselves, our divine partners, and all aspects of our divine selves. Full stop. From the sovereign authority of our core inner beings, we declare that all of the aspects that were named, including those that were not, to be fully, completely, and thoroughly null and void. And we do that even those for aspects that were not mentioned, so that the restoration, reformation process and all of our intentions can be placed instead. And we remove any negative permissions or agreements, whether we made them knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, for their expiry date has now come to pass. And when we invoke our return to rightful owner clause, so that the energy that is ours is returned to us from all places that we have placed them. And those who have fed upon them, let them learn about their own energy, and if there are beings that need to be reformed and that need to be lifted and moved out of this reality, let them be taken to the divine now. And from the sovereign authority of our core inner being, we dissolve, dispel, and disintegrate from every level and plane of our being all related imprints, implants, overlays, cords, belief systems, self-perceptions. See yourself as divine, for that is the truth. And if you can't, then that is the thing you must work on, because you are the divine in the physical. And so to be one with the divine that is you in the non-physical, you must know that you're divine so that you can be a match for yourself. in the non-physical. Also shed any belief systems that are not befitting of you. For if you're divine, then everything that emanates from you is also divine. And if it is not, gently and kindly transmute it by working on yourself without judgment, condemnation, or any kind of negative feelings on yourself. And be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And let us include any sadness, sickness, and fragmentation. And let this be done for the highest good of all, with divine harmony and timing, and the most benevolent outcomes possible. Now, if you're still going through the process of this work, stay there for as long as you need. And those of you who are ready and you're out, if you wish to share your experience of this guided contemplation, please do. It's very helpful for those who, especially if it's their first time. And if you feel a certain way, you have any questions about how you felt during the contemplation, you can place it here and we can talk about it as well. Thank you, Jebby, for sharing the live and being here. Sometimes when I do these, they feel sometimes, most of the time they have the same energy, and sometimes it's a little different. For me, this clearing the energy was very, very gentle. Maybe it's because I talked about it. It's very gentle and very healing and kind of soothing. That's the way I felt. You might have felt different, but that's the way I felt about this particular one. Oh, you felt Great Healer, you felt a strong presence around you. All right. Right, fantastic, fantastic. All right, very soothing, comforting, fantastic. I appreciate this. I had a traumatic experience with energy siphoning archons. All right, fantastic. And you're able to resolve that? The comeback? Yeah. How'd that happen? Was it through other people? And yeah, if you notice in the beginning, before I start, I always ensure that I place a protection from, if you notice, I say any vampiric energy and all of that. And I'm referring to that. It was comforting. I definitely felt it too. Okay, fantastic. Healing. I hope so, brother. Okay. So, come back here. Was that through working with another person or a group of people? You're welcome, Marie. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm very familiar with what you're talking about. The minute you say activation, when people talk about activation, I'm very, very suspicious of that. Because I know, and everyone here say, I want to just let you know, all the activations you need will be done by your own self, by your own higher self. And that's why I always say, I didn't say it this time, but I usually say, let your, have a spirit of allowing. And then I'm very specific on what I mean by that. Allowing your own higher self. Your own. Nothing else. I seldom ever talk about activations, and if I do, it's usually because someone's higher self mentions it, and I always say, this is an activation being done by your higher self. Yeah, because in activations, things can be introduced. It's always an introduction in an active, always. And you want that activation to be guided and done by your higher self. So that is a great lesson. I kept asking that because I just want it, because this is another great commentary that you've made. And so this is why when we make comments, I encourage them. It helps everyone. So whenever you hear people talk about activations, your ears should perk up, and you should go within and ask. And if you don't hear anything or get anything, do not participate in it. You must get an answer from within, or I recommend you don't participate. Yes, your energy draining out. I'm also going to talk about the chakras as well. I don't talk about them often, but I'm going to do a couple of videos and then talk about the chakras and how they are used to siphon your energy. And how, what you can do, not anybody else, you can do to prevent that and integrate them so that your energy cannot be siphoned in any particular realm. Not in the dream, not in the astral realm, and not in this waking realm. Because I've had activations, but activations have all been done by my higher self. Now I've been to places where they've done activations, and that I participated in. And so what I do in that case, if you're in a situation, just go, I yield this to my higher self and my spirit. And if it is not something that is in my highest good, though I'm here, because maybe it's a situation I just can't walk away, though I'm here, I do not accept that which is not in my highest good. And I only accept that which is, and I won't accept anything that does not match what I desire, what I want. Something like that. You don't have to use the word. You can say, I will not participate in anything that is not in my highest good. Though my body is here, I do not accept. And they can't. Because you might go to a retreat or something like that, and somebody comes in and you're all sitting there and, oh, well, let's do this activation. Da, 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 da. You don't have to participate. And then afterwards, you just look around and see how people. And if there's an energy that just isn't right, you'll know. You'll know. Don't participate in it. That's my biggest word of advice. You do not have to participate in any nonsense. And even here on the clearing that I do, people are not obligated to participate in it. Nobody has to participate in it. I do it because I know it's good, and there are many that want to, but it's an option. Happy Sunday, you guys. All right, everyone. We're gonna end the live. There are no more questions. And happy Mother's Day. Happy Sunday. Love having you here as well there, Captain Kirk. You and Arishika. It's really similar to the work your teacher taught. What, the clearing? Much love, Amy. Thank you, kindness. The two children. They're not really children, but, they're always going to be. Thank you, Marie. All right, see you guys. Bye-bye.